What's up, guys? My name's Keilan Morrissey. You're watching Keeping It Keilan. This is the 39th episode. We got a new setup, but I'm going to skip the introductory stuff that you're used to. Let's get right into the topic. It is goodness versus greatness. What do these terms mean in terms of artistic success, in terms of living your best, happiest life? What is goodness? What is greatness? And which do you choose? So this is a dilemma that I've been pondering for a while, but I never really had like the words, to encapsulate these feelings. Goodness versus greatness. What do those really mean? So I was watching The Green Knight. This is a film that came out this year. I forget the director's name, about the guy who did A Ghost Story and Pete's Dragon. He's a great director, and he did this film, The Green Knight, which is kind of an allegory for man's desire to strive for greatness and this sort of hero's journey, but it sort of dissects the hero's journey of you go and you slay the bad guy and then suddenly you have eternal glory and everything's perfect. It challenges that notion of greatness. And at one point on the main character's journey, Sir Gawain, I believe is his name, he encounters this character Essel, who is like a king or a lord, I think a lord. And so he is supposedly great, famous, legendary. But in his palace or whatever, where he and his family live, Gawain sees that this guy is actually kind of just living a normal life. He's kind of just living the life that Gawain was living to begin with. And he asks him, "Is this all there is?" And Essel says, "Yes, this is all there is. What more would there be?" And Gawain asks something along the lines of, "Well, I mean, is there not greatness? I seek out greatness. That is why I'm on this quest to go slay the Green Knight, who's like the villain of the movie. Is there not greatness that awaits me?" And Essel responds, "Greatness. Is goodness not enough?" And I'm loosely quoting here. I actually haven't even really looked at any scenes from the movie since I watched it in theaters, but that's the essence of that line, that scene, and that theme in the film is goodness not enough? And so I broke down what are these concepts, goodness and greatness, and I wrote these down, and I did an Instagram poll to see what people preferred in their life. What do they seek? And so goodness is happiness, comfort, security, family, and enjoyment of life. That's how I described it. That's my definition based on how that film encapsulates it, how I think of goodness. Goodness is this just this feeling that everything is okay. This feeling that your life is in a good spot. You're well, your family is well, your loved ones are well, you have a routine you enjoy, you're secure, you don't have to worry about money or food, you have a roof over your head, life is good. You do the things every day that make you happy. That's goodness. And then greatness is legacy, fortune, recognition, success, impact on the world. Greatness is something, in the movies, of course, a lot of knights, a lot of heroes strive for, but in real life, I believe a lot of artists strive for greatness. Artists want that impact on the world. They want to leave their mark. They want their work to live on after them. They want to change the world. And in doing so, many artists want a higher lifestyle. They want fame. They want... in my case, I wouldn't say I want fame, but I want an audience. And I wouldn't say I necessarily want riches, but I want my art to be my source of income. And so, but a lot of people want more. A lot of people, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any desire for that level of fame and wealth and whatnot. I mean, that's this, there's a poll that 70% of Americans, they want, if asked what they want to be when they're older or before they die, they want to be rich and they want to be famous. And that's very ingrained into our culture, this idea that you have to work to achieve something beyond just comfort and security. You have to achieve something greater. You have to be famous or rich or whatever it is. You have to leave some impact. And, I've done other videos breaking down this idea of impact and legacy. And I'm getting a little out of breath here because I think I'm trying to fit a lot of ideas into a short time frame. There's a new structure for me, so bear with me. But I've done videos on impact and legacy and what that really means. I mean, you can impact just a small community. I could leave an impact on this neighborhood. I could do that, relatively easily. Leaving an impact on the world is something else. And ultimately, what's the difference? Why does it matter how big of an impact you leave? But that's an entirely different discussion, which I have done and will continue to do. But the idea of goodness and greatness, I did an Instagram poll. 88% of people said they just strive for goodness, and 12% of people said they strive for greatness. And when I say just goodness, I shouldn't say just. I shouldn't say it like it's lesser. Because, good and great, we're taught that great is better than good. And, when you're saying those as adjectives, sure. But when you say it as what you want out of life, what you want out of your work, out of your daily routine, maybe goodness is enough. That the stance of The Green Knight, that film, the stance of that film is that goodness is enough, and that we all are kind of chasing this notion of greatness, and once we reach greatness, once we reach that peak of the mountain, we think we'll be completely happy. And that's just a flawed notion, which that's something else that I've tackled in previous videos, in films, in written pieces. I've discussed this idea that we all have this idea that once we get here, we'll be happy. But ultimately, we have to be happy in the now. And so that is why I came up with the concept of, can you have a life that is both good and great? In that you have your comfort and security and coziness, and you enjoy every day for what it is, but you also have the excitement of chasing something bigger. But your happiness is not tied to that bigger thing. So for instance, if I want to become the biggest artist in the world, I am fulfilled while I am pursuing that. Not necessarily I'll only be fulfilled once I reach that, because some part of that is not even within my, it's not for me to determine, I could tell all my stories, I could go through all the proper platforms, and I could do all the right marketing and reach all the right people, but maybe I'm just not meant to be the biggest artist of all time, because maybe my stories are not for every audience, and therefore, or maybe the way in which I tell them, it becomes outdated in the future, or maybe it just doesn't reach everyone, and maybe that's out of my control, but there's, whew. All right. This might be longer than 4 or 5 minutes by now. I'm not sure, but hope you're enjoying the discussion. But yeah, the idea of can there be a life that achieves both? Can you seek out greatness while having goodness, and can you find a balance of both? Can I enjoy every day of life even while I'm working for something better? I think that is honestly, if there is a key to happiness in what I've found so far in my relatively short time on earth, it's that. The key to happiness would be strive for better, but enjoy what you have. And maybe there comes a time where you really are done striving for better, where you say, this is it. Like, I'm perfectly content. I don't want to change anything. And if you reach that point, then that's okay, But I guess while I'm a young artist, while I'm still trying to break through in my career, I personally still strive for greatness in a sense. And I want to leave that impact, and I want to have that widespread, I want to have a legacy. I want to touch the world. I want to touch people's minds. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay. But I also know that if I don't enjoy today, if I don't enjoy right now, right this moment, and enjoy the process, then what's the point? Because then I'm just going to spend my whole life leading up to these milestones, right? Feeling unhappy until I reach them, and then once I reach them, I'll want another. So, yeah, I think you have to find that perfect balance. Find that balance of goodness and greatness. And this is what this all means to me, but what does it mean to you? Let me know what goodness and greatness looks like to you. And if you feel like there's a point where you can stop striving for your dreams, or if that's always going to be there, what do you think? All right, this has been Keeping It Keilan, episode 39. Thank you all so much for tuning in to my discussion of goodness and greatness. Let me know if you'd like me to explore this concept more. Please do stick around for my films and my other pop culture videos and storytelling videos and mental health videos and travel videos. Stick around. I got lots. Peace and love to you all.